Hi, you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, I wanted to talk about how investing in yourself can literally radically change your life, collapse time so that you can expedite you going to that next level and you becoming a better version of yourself. So, let's get into it. So, as somebody who has been through it, and I'm still growing and learning as I go, I am aware that it is very scary to invest in yourself. It's very scary to want to better yourself. It's very scary to want to step out of your comfort zone because obviously it's called comfort zone for a reason, right? But I'm here to tell you that stepping out of your comfort zone, investing in yourself, doing the things that are uncomfortable to make yourself better is the thing that can help you get to wherever you want to go quicker, and it will change your life, literally. So I'm here to share my own experience with you. So here's the thing. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to invest in yourself. Now I'm going to give you two examples of a time or of times where I did invest in myself, and honestly, they were the best thing that I could have done. So we're going to start small, right? So the first life-shifting investment that I feel like I made in my life was when I decided that I wanted to be the girl who got her nails done. Now, if you're listening to this, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, like that's not that deep. But for me, it was. Coming from a family where I didn't see my mother get her nails done, I didn't know other women who prioritized self-care. I did not see that, maybe even in my friend group. For me to say, I want to be that girl who gets her nails done on the regular, I had to overcome a few many blocks there, right? I had to overcome a few blocks in how I even saw myself. Because before I started to invest in getting my nails done and investing in myself, I had the mindset of, well, I'm not that girl, or I can't because that's $30 I don't have, or I can't because that's $50 I don't have every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But when I decided that, I'm going to do it one time because I want this. This is a desire that I have in my life. I use my camera a lot. I meet with clients in person on Zoom calls. I'm constantly talking with my hands. I want my nails done. So the one day I decided to go and get my nails done. It was such a fabulous experience, okay? I literally felt like I was in heaven. I felt so catered to, and I felt like a princess. And in that moment, I said to myself, how can I get more of this in my life? Just that moment of investing in myself took me out of the mindset of I'm not that girl, I can't afford this, I don't have time for this because I'm so busy. I was able to rest, be catered to, and put my mind out of a place of worry and anxiety and who am I and all these weird identity things going on, and position my mind to a place of desire, pleasure, gratitude, okay? And in that, I was able to say, how can I get more of this? How can I make this consistent in my life? And coming from a place of desire, from investing myself, I was able to start to get creative. I no longer was thinking about what I lacked. I started thinking about how could I get creative in my business, in work? How could I bring in money, right? Bring in provision so that this could be a regular thing. So that's on a smaller scale. But do you know that investing in getting my nails done, which led me to wanting to be more creative and how I could bring in more money into my business, literally was another step to me overcoming another block, which would require me to invest in myself again. So I started working with a life coach last year, and one thing that we unpacked and did a lot of work around was self-limiting beliefs, a lot of self-limiting beliefs around money, around myself, cultural beliefs that were limiting. And that was an investment too. Investing in this service was literally something that I had to do so I could get to the next level, right? So it was an investment in my nails, which led to me getting a life coach so that I could unpack a lot of things so I could show up better in my family, show up better in my business, show up better all around. I read a quote the other day by a entrepreneur. Her name is Layla Hermosi, and I want to read it to you. It says, "An infinite budget for learning will give you an infinite potential for earning." And this was from one of her Twitter threads where she talked about how, what advice would she give to people in their 20s? And I think this advice, it should be given to anybody at any stage in their life, but it's so true. There is nothing like investing in your self-development and your self-education. Let's break it down like this. If you can invest in learning new skills that can literally grow your business even more, you can't tell me you won't be making more money, because the more skills you have, the more certificates you have, the more you can charge top dollar, because you bring more to the table than someone who maybe doesn't have the skills that you have worked so hard and invested in getting. So I did break down how investing in myself on a smaller scale took me to the next step. Like I mentioned, my nails, but I wanted to jump now to 2 years ago when I decided to spend the most money I had ever spent on myself and on my business. So there was a sales program that I knew could help me. I knew it. I just knew it. I had been following these women. I had been following their podcast. I had been eating up all that they were offering, right? And it was finally time to join one of their cohorts where we were going to go deep for 8 weeks, and we were going to figure out how to become better at sales. Now, as a photographer who at the time, I didn't really have a lot of structure. I actually was doing pretty good as far as booking clients, but I wanted to take it to the next level. I felt a little stagnant. I wanted to learn more. I knew that I could learn more. So the time came to sign up. The course was open, right? And signing up was almost $3,000. Okay. Granted, I did the payment plan, but here's the thing. I had never spent that much money, even if it's a payment plan. I had never spent that much money at one time for myself, ever. And so when it came time to put my card information in, I was terrified. I was shaking. I was like, oh my God, is this a mistake? What if it's a waste of my money? Oh, and I started having like anxiety around it, right? But ironically, it was the same feeling that I had when I went to go get my nails done the first time, because I was like, oh my God, I'm not just getting a basic manicure, I'm getting gel, or I'm getting S&S. It's more expensive. You know what I'm saying? It was the same stress and anxiety because I still had a negative blockage when it came to finances. So Tina, me, decided to override the stress, okay, put in my card information, and I was in the course. And you know what? After I did it, it was like this feeling of, well, you done did it now. You did it now, Tina. Now you got to show up. Now this has to be worth it. And I just want to side note, if you're somebody who ever is always looking for the discount, always wanting something for free, it pays to play. And when you're somebody who pays for something, you value it so much more. You take care of it so much more than if it's just given to you for free. It just is what it is. And I know for me, if I had just been given that cohort for free, or for, let's say, $100, I know I would not have shown up for 8 weeks and given it my all. I just wouldn't have, because it didn't cost me anything. And I think in order to make a change in your life, the reason why investments is so important is because there is an exchange that takes place. There's an exchange from you paying for it so that you make sure you get something out of it, what it is that you paid for, right? But in the process of deciding, am I going to pay for this? Some of the things that went through my mind were, oh my gosh, all the stressors, right? But I decided, and something that I want to share with you is, instead of focusing on all the downsides of investments, all the what ifs, I can't make rent or my car payment, I was able to shift after I paid my mind to, I'm going to learn new material that is going to take my business to the next level. I am going to be able to share what I do now with brand new women that I don't know any of them, but they're from around the country, around the world, and they are going to be able to give me feedback into what I've been doing and let me know if it actually works or not. I also realized that in investing, I was able to have major mindset shifts, because if you want to make sales, if you want to be a good person in sales, you have to get right within, okay? Everything flows from within. If you're a nervous Nancy, your client is going to reflect that energy back. They're like, oh, that is not a safe place for my money. If you're somebody who doubts yourself, that energy is going to reflect back. So sales is literally a reflection of if you get your stuff correct. So the inner work was so necessary, and I'm so grateful that I invested, because a good part of that cohort was inner work. One of the things that we did during the course that was so scary was we would have to pitch our services on every meeting. So it was recorded and we were able to see ourselves. And when I tell you that every single rep, I got better, I got more confident. They gave me feedback. I sat up straight, okay? Maybe my tone would be more excited than before. I may have sounded so bland, but getting that feedback, getting to know more about how I presented myself to the world allowed me to adjust a few things. And not only did I show up differently in my business, I started to show up differently in life. I started being more aware. Okay, Tina, you have a business, so everywhere you go, how you show up matters, right? You never know who could be a potential client. You never know who could be a great friend or connection. So I started showing up dressing better. Thinking about getting my nails done was a no-brainer, because I am a business owner. I gotta show up looking good. Because here's the thing. When we do the inner work and we invest in education, new skills, inner work assistance, we are able to show up in a better light in the world. And if you have a product or a service you're trying to sell to people, no one's going to buy unless you have done the work to show that you know what you're talking about and that you have qualified yourself. If you can't invest in yourself, how can you expect others to invest in you? We've all seen people walk with their shoulders hunched over and stuttering and seeming a little jittery. Those are not people that you feel safe making a transaction with. Those are not people that you feel safe sharing your most intimate details with, right? Those are not people that you are excited to have in your corner. But when you find someone or see someone that walks with their shoulders back, they take care of themselves, they have a cool outfit on, they look like they are actually that person, right? As humans, as people, creatures on this planet, our brains naturally go to, ooh, they look like they could be an expert. I want to learn more. So everything, whether it's new skills, investing in your inner work, whatever that looks like, it all ties in together, because how you show up, whatever's inside will flow out. So investing in making sure that your insides are good, making sure that what you know and what you offer, you are confident about, you know it can help people. And also overcoming a lot of limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging behavior. Overcoming that because you chose to invest in yourself will open up so many doors and actually expedite your success, collapse time. When I think about people who order products online, there's maybe an additional fee if you want to get like next day shipping, or if you want to get it in 2 days. Why wouldn't you want to pay more to get it quicker, especially if it's something that you know you need? So this is something to consider when you want to invest in yourself. Do you want the journey to be long? Do you want to continue on the hamster wheel of high highs, low lows, same mistakes, not knowing what's coming next, thinking you're good, but then not being good? You know what I'm saying? Saying no to things that you know could literally jump you to the next level. Self-sabotage, self-disbelief, limiting beliefs, fear around money, all of these things will literally have you driving to the edge of a cliff, okay? Full speed ahead. The thing is, when you invest in yourself and actually say, I am ready to turn this car around because I want to figure out how to do this differently, and I know I can't do it on my own. I know that I have to show up as a different person. I know that there has to be an exchange here. You are literally taking control of that wheel. It may be scary, but you're turning that car around. You're turning that car around towards a destiny, towards a destination that is so much better and so much brighter and has literally a higher version of yourself. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Let me tell you something. When I invested in this course that was $3,000 plus and I was so terrified, I'm so happy that I did, though, looking back, because I'm able to help my clients more. I'm able to see what their blocks may be before they even can verbalize them, because I put myself in a room with coaches, with other students who could give me feedback, where I wasn't able to get that outside of it. I mean, I could maybe for free, but it would have taken me years. Let's be honest. It would have taken so much time and effort to ask people a lot of questions, to even understand what questions to ask. Okay. So paying for that expedited everything for me. But for the biggest part of this investment, it changed the way I looked at money. Before paying that and taking that course, I looked at money as something that may never come back. Okay. I looked at money, if I spend this $50 on my nails, or if I spend $30 on my nails, oh my God, I may not be able to pay my car payment, or I may not be able to pay my loan for student loans back. Like, this fear would take over. But when I paid for this course that was $3,000, okay, $3,000 at the time, that was such a big number that it shocked me so much that I had no choice but to rearrange my brain to say, Tina, it's only $3,000. And in doing that, in shifting my mind from holy crap, it's $3,000 to it's only $3,000, I was able to see that I was worth that. I had a lot of skills that I have been offering my clients up until that point. I had been doing above and beyond just photography for a lot of my clients. I had been a web designer. I had been a stylist. I had been a coach. I had been a email list builder. I had been a YouTube channel starter, a podcast starter. I had literally done so many things for my photography clients that was separate from photography, but I was still charging super duper low because that's how I looked at money. That's how I perceived money, right? I was like, oh, well, but if it was me, I wouldn't want to pay that. I was projecting. And so I needed to invest in myself, to shock myself, to see it's only X amount. Because if I could do it and I could overcome that and I could position my mentality into it's only X amount, I made room for people in the future to say, oh, Tina, send me your prices. Oh, it's only X amount. Bet, send me the invoice. Versus them coming to me and feeling my energy of, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This price is so high. I hope that you book me. Because people can, money is energy. Let's just get that straight. Money is energy, period. Period. That's why we have such intense attachments to it. So if you can get good and you can get okay around money, you will attract people who are on the same wavelength as you. And that's why it's important to invest in yourself. That's why it's important to show up and say, I don't even care. I know this is what I need in this season, and pay it. Here's the thing. When you invest in yourself, you open doors for you to feel like you made a win. And wins are good for morale. Wins are good for confidence. Wins are good for this world. They just are. Growth is good for this world. And I've learned the power of what you believe over yourself. So if I'm someone who says today is going to suck, it's going to be a horrible week, I'm not looking forward to it, yeah, it's going to happen. And there's been times in my life when I've said, nope, it's going to be a fantastic week. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, good things are ahead of me. Blessings are coming in. I can't wait to meet a new client. And I start speaking amazing things over me. I cannot tell you how many times I have had wonderful things happen that week. Wonderful doors open that week quickly that I wasn't even expecting. I didn't even know how it would come in. So when we position ourselves and say, I'm going to invest in myself, I don't know how. I don't know how this is going to change my life. I don't know how financially I can do it. But when you position yourself into, I know I'm covered, I know I'm taken care of, and I know that this is going to help me, the universe adjusts to what you've decided. Literally, everything will adjust to what you've decided to be true in that moment. So I was on a live the other day, and this woman that I was watching was doing a meditation. And one thing that she said that really, really stood out to me was in her meditation, she said, God, help us to not be poor this week. And she broke down the word poor as passing over opportunities repeatedly. And that really struck me because, oh my gosh, how many of us have done that? How many of us had an opportunity to invest in ourselves, to collapse time, to expedite the process, and we passed it over because we were waiting for the right time. We were waiting for everything to be perfect. We were waiting for the right season. We were waiting for XYZ to be in place. And then we wonder why our lives still look the same. We wonder why the needle hasn't been moving. We wonder why we just can't figure certain things out. There's a quote by Grant Cardone that says, spend as much on your inside as you do your outside. So my point is, if you are somebody who wants to move the needle in your life, you're looking to take your business to the next level, you're looking to take your relationships to the next level, you want to show up better at your job, invest in new skills, invest in inner work, whether that's life coaching, therapy. Spend the money, okay? Spend as much as you do on the outside, whether that's going out to eat, investing in subscriptions like Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus. How many are there? I don't know. But I'm telling you, if everybody on the planet started to look at money as it's only X amount, they would invest in themselves so much more and improve their lives so much more. I will always be an advocate for self-improvement, self-development, especially courses. I will always be an advocate for any type of self-education, because I really believe that you need a team. I really believe that you need a mentor to make it through. It is hard out here. And so making that step to saying that you are in fact a big deal and you do need a coach, you do need an accountability person, will collapse time. It will expedite your success. And I want to say this about coaching programs and all that stuff. Sometimes people say, well, they just want my money. But let me tell you something. The best people, the best athletes ever stay having a coach. They stay investing in themselves. They stay doing the inner work. They stay mastering their skills. Don't pass over opportunities repeatedly anymore. If you are presented with an opportunity to spend time with yourself, to go invest in yourself, whether that's as simple as getting your nails done and you've never done that before, or getting a nice outfit so you can show up better at work and look much more put together than bummy, okay? Whether that's you investing in a life coach or therapy so you can overcome a lot of mental blocks, or whether that's investing in a course that could help you learn a new skill and take your gifts to the next level and your finances to the next level. Don't pass over the opportunity repeatedly anymore, because it is making all of us look a little ghetto out here. And why do we want to be ghetto? Who wants to be poor? I don't, and I hope you don't either. So I encourage you to stop sleeping on yourself and welcome in the idea that you can, in fact, expedite a process and you're taken care of. Anything that you agree with will manifest in your life. So like for me, spending that $3,000, that was a big chunk out of my business. But I want to leave you with this cool testimony. I almost forgot about this. My bookkeeper and I, we looked at my books that year, and she was like, this was the biggest investment that you made that year at one time. However, I was able to gain more clients after taking that course than I ever had, because I got clear on my message. I knew how to communicate. I knew how to listen more, right? It wasn't just about becoming better at sales. It was about becoming better at listening. I was able to literally create better social media posts for people to see and come across and be like, oh, that's me. She's speaking to me. So it wasn't just that I spent $3,000. It was that I was able to make triple what I spent. Now imagine if I hadn't spent that $3,000. Imagine if I had said, I'm good, I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing. I would have played myself. And what's crazy is the lessons that I learned in that course weren't just for sales in my business. I learned how to become a better salesperson when it came to my relationships, how I communicated with my boyfriend, how I communicated with my family, how I communicated with my little niece and nephews. Instead of shoving things down their throat or doing certain things, I was able to be a better listener, to see how I could approach certain things in a different way based off of what they needed and how they perceived what I was saying. So I just wanted to leave you with that. I hope that you take any opportunity that comes your way, because here's the thing. If you're someone who went to college or grade school, or maybe you didn't go to college, whatever, we live in such a wonderful time where you can invest in yourself, especially in specific areas, to gain the skills that you need. And we also live in an amazing time where there are so many teachers and so many programs to help us overcome so many obstacles. But if we continue to pass over the opportunity to get better, the opportunity to grow, the joke's on us. We're playing ourselves, and we're adults. So we get to decide where the money goes. We get to decide what we choose to invest in, right? We get to decide, is this worth it? And if the answer is yes, if the pros outweigh the cons, and if the cons just look like fears that haven't really manifested at all, there's no proof to it, that may be a sign that you should definitely take the leap and invest in yourself. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.